Good morning, afternoon, or evening, everybody. This is another Gray Market AMA, a follow-up with our friend Gosu from Waifu Financial, this time specifically regarding Waifu TV, the up-and-coming streaming service from Waifu Financial, and supposedly the first ever DeFi streaming service. So before we get started, let's welcome our guest of honor today, Gosu. Welcome back to Gray Market. Nice to see you again.
Yeah, no, great introduction. Yeah, thanks for having us again. And yeah, we're here with a lot of updates, a lot of things that we've done since last time, and excited to tell the audience more about what's been happening.
Yeah, so it's been a couple months now since we last chatted. So what have you been up to since the last time we spoke, both for Waifu TV and everything else in Waifu Financial?
Well, first things first, we did, and we have, I guess you can say, rebranded to just Waifu TV, because our value prop since day one has been to do a streaming platform, and we've changed our business strategy, I guess you can say, over the time. And as well, we've just been developing and launching products and doing, I guess we have like an inside joke now, is like CTO as a service for other protocols that realize they bit off more than what they can chew. And I step in and help them and bring that stream of revenue from those protocols back into ours. I do, however, vet those protocols. Some of them, for example, Gosu Tools, which is an NFT trading platform, and bots, and Presend.io, me being a CTO there, building their entire infrastructure. So it's not like really like I'm involved in another tokenomics type of thing. It's more actual products in Web3, sort of say, that actually generate or have a potential of generating revenue. So from there, pretty much, yeah, like we just rebranded from Waifu Financial to Waifu TV and stick to that, because we had an influx of products, right? So just narrowed it down at this point.
Okay, so main focus is now on your streaming service, Waifu TV. So tell us the elevator pitch for Waifu TV. Why is it different? What's special about it? And anything else you feel relevant?
Yeah, so Waifu TV is a Web3 live streaming and anime video platform. What I mean by Web3 is we're building an infrastructure where both content creators and viewers can both benefit from that interaction between fan and creator, right? And I feel like there's a massive disconnect with my prior experience as well, being in Twitch, Prime Video, and Facebook Live. The disconnect being that, payment settlement, and I'm sure you're well aware of this, where on these streaming platforms, like, you need to make an X amount before you can even get paid out. There's the ad revenue source where you're bringing your own audience into your stream. However, you might not even get that revenue share based on that ad as well. And then it's not really rewarding for your viewers and fans, because it's just on one way, like, hey, the benefit is that you get to see your favorite streamer or content creator, right? So we have a unique tokenomics setup that we're still ironing out, which is a view and interact to earn. So if you have viewers interacting with your stream and your socials, they get rewarded in our native token Uwu. And if they watch X amount of hours or minutes of your live stream, they also get rewarded for subbing and doing all those types of interactions that they do with their content creators already. It's just in that rewarding aspect of it.
Okay. So your plan for this service is to be able to reward everybody involved. You want to reward the streamers more than they are currently being rewarded elsewhere, and reward the viewers for interaction. So,
Right, in a nutshell.
yeah, so the question that comes to mind is where does the money come from? How are you going to reward viewers just for watching a service if what I'm assuming is you can watch it for free?
Right. So the way that Twitch also makes money is through advertisement, right? So depending on the amount of viewers that are on the platform, um, etc., advertisers can't spend money to showcase their ads on the stream. Also, content creators do also have partnerships that they have with brands. For example, one of the streamers that we're partnered up with, they're breaking it apart, right? Like, hey, if we have a certain microphone, we have an object or a sale from that brand for us promoting that. We have the chair that we're sitting on, the carpets and things like that. So pretty much advertisement money, as well as we have platform and we have on platform and off platform tokens that on platform people can onboard easily. They purchase those tokens on the platform. There's a stream of revenue there. There's a stream of revenue also from the ads, as I mentioned. And then each content creator, I think this is tapping into one of the products that we've actually are in beta for. Content creators, let's say they have a highlight of their stream, they can package that in a 15-second GIF or little reel, and sell it as an NFT with any utility that the streamer wants to attach to it. So, yeah, pretty much that. And we're also in talks with certain like product companies, and I can't really name who they are, but where like let's say they're like affiliate links, right? So affiliate links for different products that the streamer is promoting themselves. That's another stream of revenue that we're collecting, as well as the content creator, and that's how we can reward the viewers. If we're going to go into the granular details of splits and things like that, that's still being ironed out. We're actually running the math on that to make sure, but the overall concept is based on that, like ad revenue, tokens being purchased on platform, advertisements and stuff of that nature.
Okay, so you have been talking with advertisers willing to jump in and interact with your platform then?
Yes. So one of the advertisers that I could actually name that I have a personal relationship with is Zimmerman Advertisement Firm. They're out in Fort Lauderdale. They've done things with like Papa John's and Pep Boys and of those types of caliber. People have a massive misconception that they need to address directly to these brands, but just like celebrities, you need to talk to their managers and what have you, right?
Okay, so you do have a plan for a revenue stream, but the thing that I still think about, and I mentioned this months ago last time we chatted, was how are you going to incentivize streamers to move? Because as of right now, the entirety of the gaming and streaming community really hates the concept of DeFi, really hates NFTs, anything crypto. They are just not about it. And the second you say the word NFT when pitching this to any of those streamers who are maybe like even mid to large size on Twitch or YouTube, they're
Right.
probably just going to wave you away. So what are you going to be doing to combat this stigma of the DeFi space to
Right.
get more people on your platform?
Correct. So that is one of the biggest concern. I mean, some of the streamers that I know personally, like this is how we're structuring our business model. Um, One, actually, this whole view to earn, interact to earn was part of their idea too. Like, hey, like one of the pain issues is we really just reward them in moats or whatever it is on Twitch that they get for whatever reason, like modding them or whatever. Um, the main pain point that they've mentioned is when a streamer starts early on, they really don't get paid until you build a certain amount of audience, you build a certain amount of revenue coming in from people buying bits and donations to you and whatever interactions. So, and they take a massive cut too. Even with advertisement, sometimes they don't even get cuts from that. And they're bringing in like a couple of thousands of people. We're not going to talk into like the bigger streamers, right? Like Ninja and Stroud and Dr. Disrespect, but these people that are starting early don't have that. So the unfair payouts, something that we're definitely tackling. And then the other thing is that they want to feel, I mean, you know this yourself, is they don't like DeFi, crypto, or whatever, but they want to feel like they're not using crypto at all, even if they are using it. So how can we make it easier for content creators to easily do this whole DeFi crypto thing, and for viewers too? Some people are just like, I just want to buy bits, probably buy, little digital assets that relates to my streamer. And how can I do that in a way that I don't have to pay gas or consider what the hell gas is and why do I have to pay for transactions? I mean, if you put it into technical terms and really granular, I mean, people are still paying fees when they're buying bits. The only thing is that they're not paying fees when they're transferring the bits over, right? So, the way that we're combating this as well is when someone creates a user account on the platform, they're automatically creating a platform wallet that's secured. What I mean by secured is like they can't really interact outside of the platform unless it's like they want to. So it's on platform only with that specific token. Like imagine bits, and they can easily transfer in and out of that, which is why we have our own version of a chain that we're building, but we are talking about to red light with Alex to see like what technical aspects do they have that we can probably implement into our platform. So the whole goal here of what we're doing is we want people to be on crypto without feeling like they are on crypto. And then all the NFTs that they themselves create, like, hey, this segment of an NFT highlight on my stream, the user interface for the content creators, them creating it themselves, saying this is the highlight of the stream. They package that, and then we handle all the business logic and create the NFT without feeling like they are, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I was going to bring up red light because it sounds like what you're trying to do is, at least in the terms of the gas issue, is similar, because that is something that people don't like. I mean, that's probably one of the main things they don't like, is that they have to pay to do something as simple as send money, et cetera, et cetera. So,
well, the problem, I don't think it's about paying the gas, is how you pay the gas.
Yeah, it's how you pay the gas. It's because it's you basically have to mask the fact that this is a DeFi, a crypto service, to get people interested. So and if you don't have to do gas, that makes that process a lot easier.
Right. So I think what there's other things that we can do under the hood, where one of the technical things is, let's say they buy the token, right? And we have the the money set aside, right, from when they purchased the P-Uwu platform, Uwu. We could just convert that and swap it under the hood, and just say we pay their gas for them if they do that. That's one way of doing it. And then like we subtract the fee from their PU. Like that's another way that we can do it under the hood. But to avoid those technical aspects, we are talking with Alex from Red Light to see. Because here's the thing, I don't want our content creators and viewers to get into this whole black hole of taxes and you can't claim and you can't do this, and like I want it to be free willy-nilly, and that's why right, like that's the overall aspect of when those users come on board, and that's something that I am talking to our current streaming partners that we have.
Okay. So I've been reading your light paper on this, and your elevator pitch is you're going to fix unjust pay or unfair pay, the censorship issues on centralized on Web 2 platforms, Web 2 streaming platforms, unjust bans, and the incentive to engage. So I don't know if you've heard, this is a recent development, but Trainwrecks TV is starting his own streaming service, and it does address a lot of the things you're talking about in here. He announced that it's going to be a 95-5 revenue split between creator and his platform. It's not going to feature the same level of censorship because it's going to be privately owned. So how are you going to what's the word here? How are you going to compete with other people trying to do what you're doing, who might be much more well known / experienced in this space? Because you will have competition.
All right, but in what aspect? Competition and
like
experience, how?
Like Trainwrecks is pretty much one of the biggest streamers on the platform, so I feel that he would be able to drag a lot more viewers into his platform because he's so well ingrained in the culture.
Right. So here we go back, when Ninja and Shroud tried to make Mixer, or they jumped onto Mixer, which is Microsoft, which is the difference between when you're talking about big tech, especially something like software like Microsoft, there's a lot of engineering that goes behind the scenes. Like, I'm not worried about some streamer that has no technical background into creating anything. So, like, I mean, you've had Dr. Disrespect when he got super pissed off at Twitch, creating I'm going to go off and create my own stream and things like that. But they failed. Right. I mean, and I'm pretty sure, I don't know who this other streamer is, but I'm pretty sure Dr. Disrespect, Ninja, and Shroud are bigger than this dude. And they weren't able to do it because they probably couldn't hire the correct engineering team. And this is what makes me different. I've worked at Twitch. I packaged the entire Twitch infrastructure into a service called Amazon IVS. So when you're talking about, of course, sure, they have a huge following, but to what platform are they going to drive traffic to? They don't have anything. I mean, sure, they can hire a couple engineer devs here and there, but I think what I'm really betting on here is the fact that my team have the technical experience, and we've already worked on stuff like this, that we can actually know what the hell we're doing. And actually, like, we're not just wishful thinking here where we're like, oh yeah, we're going to create this. Like, we understand that our limitations. So if we want to talk about limitations, our limitations is actually, I guess you can say, bringing on the traffic to an actual platform that will that is being created. And we have pretty much a beta. We need to test it and whatnot, but you're talking to technical founders here, right? The moment someone jumps on to invest into a company or whatever, they always ask you, who is your technical partner? Like, who's your technical founder? And if you don't have one that actually has streaming experience, like, I mean, dude, I work at Prime Video. Like, I've worked at Twitch. Like, I guarantee you that these guys do not have any technical experience on how video works, or they're not even including the mathematical, like, by doing a 95-5 split, that already tells me that they have no idea the cost of what it takes of infrastructure. That alone tells me a lot. Like, you can't just throw a number. That's why I haven't like really talked about revenue splits and things like that, because we need to consider like splits when, right? So if you're off the gate coming out that you're castrating your entire business model by 95%, you have no room for growth. And knowing how technical teams run, I mean, I'll just speak on this myself, right? Like, to hire me into a big tech firm, and you guys have my LinkedIn, you guys have, I can show you my freaking corporate profile. Like, to hire somebody like me, it's going to take probably around $500,000 a year, and that's just one person. So the advantage here is that I'm making it affordable, me myself, to be on the team to actually create something, which is why I'm not really like competitor obsessed of like, oh, this person's creating this platform or whatever. Just like XCAD, right? XCAD had who do they have? They have Mr. Beast. They had pretty big, the Logan Paul brothers. They had pretty big YouTubers. However, they're not really creating traction. They don't have a platform, and they actually have something already out. So when I look at competitors or a competitor analysis, I don't want to say I'm the only one doing it, because that would be retarded for me to do, for me to say. But when I look at competitors, I'm actually looking at, I guess you can say, startups that actually have something, that actually have already something built. My competitors, for example, would be XCAD. I wouldn't even consider them competitors because they don't have a platform. So what they do is you can download their extension. It's like a web injection into YouTube, and you can earn while you're watching a stream on YouTube or whatever. So you can earn their native token. Now, Twitch obviously would be a competitor. Campsites, like Chatterbait, YouTube, right? Mixer closed, and one of the reasons why Mixer closed is because they didn't want to allocate resource and time and money into it. It's a lot. Like, it's a lot. Knowing this from my experience at Twitch, like, we were a six engineer team packaging the entire freaking Twitch infrastructure, and you can look it up, Amazon Interactive Video Service. We onboarded CBS Interactive. We have Disney Interactive, where you can interact with the live stream. News stations use Amazon IVS. So I already know the backbones of this. I've integrated this already with massive conglomerates, way bigger than anything that streamer has ever probably even considered entertaining. So when it comes to technical foundations and infrastructure, I guarantee you he doesn't have it. I put my money where my mouth is. Like, I guarantee he doesn't have it. Maybe he can drive traffic, and maybe that's an opportunity for us at Waifu to acquire whatever traffic he has. But I don't think they have the video infrastructure at all. I know that for a fact. Like Valhalla, right, is another NFT community that's bragging about gaming communities and Valhalla, and we're gonna create this Web3 shit. And guess what? Like, they're in my DMs. Like, how do we fucking create this?
Well, there you have it. Collective experience is definitely a valuable asset to leverage in this
Right.
space.
Right. I do agree with you though. Like, how are we going to drive traffic? Like, our market strategy there is to partner up with agencies, right? Because a lot of these bigger streamers like don't manage themselves, right? They're used for what their talent is, just like a singer, right? Like a singer or an actor, like they don't deal with their bookings, they don't deal with any of that. They hire firms and agencies for that. So we are in talks with a couple of agencies, like how can we get VTubers, how can we get certain type of waifus into the 18 plus section, how can we get these streamers to drive traffic to us, and even animation studios, because I mentioned anime. We are in talks with 2 animation studios that their TV shows or anime series get rejected by the bigger one by the bigger platforms to host it. So we're looking at driving exclusive content from that, if possible, or hosting from that aspect. And then you also have the 18 plus section, which I don't want to dive too deep into that because that's not the core of our business, but we do have it where anybody that goes into that section has to be KYC, age verification, things like that, which a lot of campsites are like completely shitty with UI. So so but yeah, no, I didn't even hear about Trainwreck. I don't know his name.
Yeah, he's been at the top 5 of Twitch for a while, and he's also has the same concerns as you for the things that the current Web 2 space is doing wrong. So he would just be making another Web 2 streaming service that has some of the things you mentioned, but not all of the things you mentioned. So it was just something I wanted to consider, since it was very timely that he announced all of this. So
maybe he can hire us.
Maybe. So you've already, I've seen the tokenomics. In fact, I'm gonna actually post this on our little our chat here for everyone else to look at. But at what current stage, I guess my final question is, at what current stage are you at for new investors to interact at? Like, what can we do to interact with Waifu TV right now?
Right. So this pitch deck, I guess, is catered more to like the DeFi early adopter audience. We do have a token pre-sale that you can acquire at 0.8, like 80 BUSD. And at launch, we're going to stabilize it between 95 cents to $1.05, comparative to our BUSD pair. So pretty much this whole deck is literally for early adopters. This isn't really like the main reason why we exist, right? This is just like, hey, just like any pitch deck, right? Like, this is what we're going to build. This is what we aim for. This is what we've done. This is who we are. This is how you can get in and participate, right? This whole tokenomics of harems and perk NFTs and things like that, it's just either for the smaller guys that while we're creating demand for our token, this is how you can benefit and how demand will increase over time as we meet our milestones of user acquisitions and bringing traffic towards our streaming platform, which we are planning for MVP sometime late December, early January, for a good MVP saying, hey, this is a streaming platform with the payment structure where you can donate peer-to-peer, and it settles automatically on the content streamer's wallet, right? So that's another thing. I don't know if anybody else is tackling that, but payment settlement, like, it takes 3 to 5 business days to settle your payment and cash out. So this is automatically into your wallet, and that's kind of like where the infrastructure is lying, where we got to complete the payment infrastructure for content creators and whatnot. But
payments being instantaneous is a big separator of the Web 2 and Web 3 space. So this does seem to be a good X factor. I would agree with you on that. Before I wrap up my questions, I wanted to remind everybody in the audience, please ask your own questions in the AMA questions, so we don't have any downtime in between when I'm finished and when you guys are ready to ask your questions. So, you might have already mentioned this, but I've been sort of perusing your pitch deck while we talk. Do you have a, as specific as you can get it, public launch of Waifu TV, or is that still TBA?
Of like the streaming platform?
Yeah, of the platform itself. Because I'm from what I understand, you guys are beta testing right now. Do you have a planned launch window, or a just a thought of when you want to kick this out?
Yeah, so we're gonna have a public beta, just to get customers and users to test the platform. That process of engineering, which Train Brain doesn't have, is called user acceptance testing. So we're going to retrieve feedback from our default users. We have 4 streamers right now that want to beta test it as well with their audience, just to see and report bugs. And if any bugs, I'm structuring like a compensation plan for that, for people to actually really fully test this whole thing, because we need to do that, right? So as I mentioned before, our MVP public beta testing phase is going to start either late December, probably early January, like the first week, second week, and then people can start working on that. Just having a demo stream, one stream at a time. I don't want it to be like a whole functioning app, and then just doing different components at a time. And I think by the summer of next year, or if not spring, we can have like a full public launch without testing. And I mean, we're still going to be testing it, obviously, to make sure we don't have any bugs and whatnot, but that's kind of our high level roadmap here.
Okay. So let's open the floor up to questions from the community. Let's begin here. Will Waifu TV have a similar infrastructure as Twitch?
Well, I mean, I just mentioned it, right? Like, I packaged the video infrastructure called Amazon IVS, Interactive Video Service. So Amazon does provide an infrastructure in the back end where I created for millions of companies and people to use. Probably this is where Train Brain will use his shit too, or other people. So in a nutshell, yes.
Okay. For those that aren't familiar with swapping, will you have a guide on how to get BUSD for the pre-sale?
Yeah. We want to make it easy for people, which is why we build our own bridge and swap too. Just to put it all in one. Again, the bridge and swap, I know a lot of freaking projects are doing the same shit with decks. What makes us different about that is that we're going to be driving these new content creators that don't know anything about DeFi and crypto or whatever. They can go to one trusted source, us, and then under the hood, we're using other people's liquidity pools, which is why we don't have like farming or any of that. But we want to make it as easy where you can tell your boomer parent to come in, or grandparent to come in and be like, here, use the platform, and here's the instructions on how to do it. And that if they can do it, then anybody else can do it, is kind of the goal here. So yeah, there will be that.
All right. So anyone with streaming software like OBS can start streaming on Waifu TV?
Yeah, actually, it's funny enough. Like some of the ideas that are flourishing is like, what streaming software, how can you interact all of them, even overlays. Like there's more granular details that you guys content creators go through in the back end. So we are planning on integrating with like OBS or like any other overlays or software like that.
All right. Does anybody else have any more questions for Gosu from either?
And there is an opportunity to get involved early. They're called revenue partner NFTs, which earn you 0.1%. It's the same thing as like if I were to go to a seed round, right? I mean, the only difference is here that I got more than I would have at an incubator or a business startup program. They probably would have given me like 500,000 for like 20% of equity.
Oops.
Or 5. And for each of those NFTs, or for one of those NFTs, you get 500 UWU tokens, and then you get a 0.1% of everything that we do on chain. So for the harems themselves, where they're yielding NFTs that yield more UWU tokens for you, each time those are created, 10% gets distributed amongst revenue partners. And the max revenue from that, or I don't even want to call it revenue, but the max from that is 3 million. So 0.1%, you get 3,000 there. That's 8,000 back for your initial. And then not to talk about the claim tax and sell tax, things like that, that the revenue partners also get 0.1% of. So there's a lot of room of opportunity there. Our swap index too, they get a 0.1% from that. The NFT marketplace that we have for content streamers, where they create. So the Animart is what I'm calling it, but the Animart is for content creators, kind of like NBA Top Shot meets Tom Brady's autograph. That's the idea behind it. I'm not allowing any ship project to just be like, hey, we have an anime NFT market collection coming out. Can we be posted? Like, they have to get KYC. We have to make sure that they have an actual roadmap, so we can allow them with our traffic of anime fandom. So that's the opportunities there. Waifuverse too is another thing. We're actually in talks now with a representative. I forgot what they were called. Animoca brands, like they're pretty big. To get funding there to expand our Waifuverse. Actually, a friend of mine that's a civil engineer is going to come into the Waifuverse and like kind of structure the city in a proper way. So, we have billboards there so people can advertise to and whatnot. So I don't know if that answers like a lot of the questions that probably people had.
Okay, we have the Waifuverse live beta in the AMA questions if you guys want to go check that out. Does anybody else have any more questions for Gosu, either from our community or from waifus? Anybody have any more questions?
No.
Going once, going twice.
But yeah. So if anybody wants to reach out to me or reach out to Gray, or Meta, of how you can get involved as a revenue partner, or I think out of 100, we only have, holy shit, we only have 24 left. Okay. Well, that's closing up soon. And then our pre-sale token is on December 5th. So it's going to be starting at 0.8. We are doing a seed round of tokens soon. It's just I started a little bit. I pushed back on it because I wanted to do some giveaways. But yeah, here we are.
Oh, very nice. So pre-sale in 4 days. Get in there if you fancy. Once again, thank you, Gosu, for coming in, providing us with a fantastic update on Waifu TV. very interesting stuff. Be sure to watch this space. It's going to be a very interesting ride over this next 6 months as we see the development of Waifu TV. Do we have any? Here he is. Date of public pre-sale December 5th. Time 9 a.m. Pacific time. PU pre-sale 950,000 tokens available at 80 cents BUSD per token. 4 days, guys. You don't have much time, so get involved if you feel. And yeah, thank you for joining us, Gosu. Thank you, everybody from the Waifu TV community for coming in and joining us. My name is Meta. I'm the community manager for Gray Market. If you have any questions about us that you would like to know, just message in, AMA or free chat, and we can have any questions about our community to you. And yeah, that's all I have for today. So once again, thank you everybody for coming in. Thank you, Ghost, for being a lovely guest. And have a fantastic rest of your day, everybody.
Yeah, thank you for having us. Cool. Yeah, it's just the other thing, because I know people are like, well, how are you going to get more traffic? Well, we have another tool called Gosu Tools, and it's pretty big in the NFT community space. And we're partnered up with some of the biggest NFT communities already, like Coliseum, the Embassy, Llamaverse, Gojira. So don't sleep on it because things are coming up fairly quickly.
It does appear like it. Gosu Tools, it's an AMA questions. Go check it out, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys for coming in, and hopefully we'll be able to chat again soon.